This is Mike Rallman from the Be Our Guest podcast, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country, and after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. It's time for another quick bite.
A snack-sized, fun-sized episode of our show.
Yes, it's not necessarily about the running, the eating, and the drinking, but it's about things that didn't make it into the main episode of the show this week.
And since we have a theme developing this week with getting you all excited for the springtime surprise at Walt Disney World resorts this weekend.
I'm having such FOMO.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Me too.
So we had to go back into our archives and take a look at some great places that deserve a little love.
And places that should fit in rather nicely to your springtime surprise weekend.
If you can't, sometimes you're in that My Disney Experience app or you're on the Walt Disney World website on your computer and you're kind of, just sneaking in there for a bit of a look and seeing if there are last minute cancellations. And these may be places that you can keep in mind, both that need reservations and maybe that you can get on a walk-up list or you can just walk right into and have.
Exactly. And if you're going to be doing a race weekend, of course, you have to think about where you're going to carb up. That's very important.
Yes.
All runs are fueled by carbs. And where better to go for carbs than an Italian restaurant?
Perfect. There are many good Italian options on the property.
Yes, regardless of where you go, whether it's at a resort, Disney Springs, in one of the parks, there are ample options for Italian. But we have one in particular we're going to share with you today.
We're quite fond of it. We have been to it time and time again. You don't need a park reservation for it. It's Trattoria Al Forno. On the boardwalk.
At the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yes. And once your running is done, of course, we are huge proponents that you indulge in a tasty beverage to celebrate. And sometimes you've got to do that in a retro or an old school fashion. And maybe you want something that's also a little bit elevated. And I think that what I'm saying here encapsulates very accurately the experience you would get at the Tiki Lounge at Disney's Polynesian Resort.
You see it as retro. I see it as runcation celebration immersion in the Polynesian island atmosphere.
This is true too.
Yeah.
Both can be true. So that's what we're going to talk about on this quick bite.
So we should get started.
Let's do it.
We're talking about before and after. So let's hit the before, which is before your race, carb loading at Trattoria Al Forno. I love the boardwalk. I love the boardwalk at night. I love the boardwalk in the daytime. I just
love the boardwalk.
I just love the boardwalk and Trattoria Al Forno. I love Trattoria Al Forno for carb loading, and usually you can get a reservation there pretty easily.
What I also very much enjoy about it is you have options for dining inside and dining outside.
Depending on the weather during your weekend. So inside and outside dining options are great to have in your back pocket.
It's also a great place if you want to eat sometime late at night. You can catch a little glimpse of the fireworks as well over at Epcot, which is
beautiful.
Very nice option.
And if you're staying at the Epcot area resorts, it's a lovely walk to and from that restaurant.
Oh, yes.
So you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on transportation to your carb loading destination. and then worry about getting back to your resort pretty late, or you're back to your hotel pretty late for 2 a.m., 3 a.m. wake up.
That's true. That's very true. You run Disney, folks, you know exactly what we're talking about. But really what it comes down to at Trattoria Al Forno is the food. And, you know, atmosphere is great. Inside and outside seating is great. Service, we have never had bad service.
We've had excellent service. Their servers are so knowledgeable and kind and very focused on you, even though it is a busy place.
Yes. But at the end of the meal, as opposed to the end of the day, it's all about the food. And the food is absolutely outstanding.
What I love about this place is you can get an Italian meal that features cheesy and delicious lasagna. You can do spaghetti and meatballs. There's a variety. And what brought us there the first time and actually keeps us coming back is that you can have an entirely plant-based 3-course meal if you are plant-based. And it's just an amazing and delicious meal.
It is. Absolutely. Starting with the bread service and the appetizer.
Yes. Oh, the bread. It's a whole loaf. It's a whole mini loaf for you. And our servers have brought one for each of us every time we've been there.
Yes.
With olive oil and this olive tapenade situation happening. Oh, it's such a great way to start the meal.
Tear off a piece of bread, dip it in the oil, drag it through the olive tapenade. It is absolutely delicious. And again, you don't feel like you're missing anything in any way, shape, or form because you're not. This is that good.
It really is. As is the plant-based appetizer. I mean, there are many appetizers on their menu that are tasty for the omnivorous runner.
Yes.
Omnivorous.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
For the omnivore and carnivore out there, there are plenty of options. We're just talking, this time we happen to be talking about the plant-based.
And we had the Roma tomato bruschetta as an appetizer, which is grilled ciabatta, basil, aged balsamic. Oh, and it's 4 individual, they look like crostini, 4 individual kind of bruschettas.
Yeah, little boats.
And there's endive
deliciousness.
in there. It's
the endive, I think, is great. That I think kind of makes it for me. You know, I always joke when we go out to Italian about bruschetta, you know, being basically Italian salsa on top of bread. But the endive gives it, it is. But it's a totally different flavor profile than, say, a salsa. And that endive gives it a crunch and a bitterness that is so nice. So nice.
And it's different from other bruschettas. Just typical ones that you would see at different Italian restaurants. You're right. I loved it. I love the basil.
Yes.
The basil and the balsamic. Because the balsamic adds the acidity and the basil, it's just the fresh, the
fragrant.
I mean, I can even smell it in my mind as we're talking about it, even though we don't have it in front of us. It's just makes everything better to smell those fresh herbs as a part of the appetizer.
And I think that's kind of what you're talking about, where it sets itself apart. You've got the char from the grilled bread. You've got that fragrant nature of the basil. You've got the tartness of that balsamic reduction.
It's so good.
And the freshness of those tomatoes, which give you a little bit of acid, a little bit of sweet. It's it's 4 perfect bites in that appetizer.
It really is. And it's good for a duo to share.
Yes.
Or even for if you are a foursome at your table, everybody has a perfect bite and you don't overload yourself as you head into the entree.
100%. But that leads us, of course, into the main course.
I can't wait to go back and have lasagna and have those rich carnivorous dishes. But with the plant-based rigatoni bolognese, there's no accent. I can't really do it. But with this plant-based rigatoni, you don't feel like you are eating plant-based, really.
Well, no, they do an amazing job. First of all, you said those rich dishes. This is an incredibly rich dish.
And it's huge.
The bolognese sauce, of course, is a traditional meat sauce.
Generally, yeah, usually.
And this has Impossible sausage.
I do believe that the server said that, because you see Impossible all across the park.
Yeah.
So I believe that is the plant-based meat substitute across the parks.
Yeah.
Which is great because we love it.
And it gives you perfect texture. Mm-hmm. And it gives you all of the flavor because they use the Italian sausage version of it. So you get all of the fennel flavor of Italian sausage, plus that great toothsomeness of gives you the sensation of meat without being meat, and a lot of it. So the sauce has been cooked for a long time. They've got this wonderful plant-based sausage in there.
Oh.
And they're doing it on rigatoni.
Yeah. Now, I didn't confirm. I did not ask our servers. I'm sure they would have been forthcoming with everything because they know that menu like the back of their hands. I don't know if it was the Impossible sausage and the Impossible ground, like a combination. It seemed to me like it was.
I believe so.
And I think that was perfect with that slowly braised ragu.
Mm-hmm.
Tasted like it had wine in it. It tasted like, and what I mean by that is, some red wine that's added to a ragu and slowly cooked it adds such a depth of flavor.
Yes.
Such an earthy, meaty, satisfying comfort food type of ragu to eat.
And we're going on about this because while this is a plant-based dish, this is so good. You
can't even.
Number one, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Number two, I would get it even if I weren't eating plant-based. It's that good.
Yes.
Their pasta, these big rigatoni noodles, they're huge. They're cooked al dente, so there's a little bit of bite left to the noodle. They've got the ridges, so they hold the sauce very well. And you mentioned it, the portion size that you get. You walk out, if you eat the whole thing, you walk out stuffed, and you can basically go back to your hotel room and lights out so that you can get up for that 2 a.m.
You just
wake up for the race.
Oh my God. I'm looking at the picture right now and I can't wait to go look at the char on the the sausage and and you better save some of the bread from the bread service to be able to finish the dish and get all of that sauce.
Yes.
Get all of that ragu.
100%.
Yum. Winning.
And
we fueled with that for Wine and Dine in 2021.
Yeah.
Yes, we were winning.
And I was going to say, and to accompany it, if you're wanting to keep plant-based and you're wanting to keep in preparation for your race, in terms of drinks, they offer a number of flavored San Pellegrino waters.
That's really nice.
Which are great, a great accompaniment. They feel fancy.
They do.
And they're not something that you typically see everywhere. So it's, worth checking out. I would get one of those. And then you get to top it all off with dessert.
Oh, yes. And the plant-based version, it's called Affogato Al Cafe.
Yeah.
Frozen coconut vanilla bean. It's ice cream like.
It's a non-dairy ice cream.
But it's not ice cream. And the version that everybody can get can have, that's not doing plant-based, can have the hazelnut ribbons and cookies and all of this. We just had the ice cream itself in our meal. And it was coconutty. It was vanilla. It was perfect.
Yeah, I think this is a great option.
You could have it with an espresso, and that would be just.
And that's exactly it. If you're doing a affogato, that's basically ice cream with a shot of espresso poured over it. we were going to sleep that night. We weren't going to do espresso.
So we didn't.
But
you could, though.
This would work out beautifully. And again, it gives you such a satisfying flavor. It is not where you feel like, oh, this is a pretender to ice cream. No. It's super rich because they're using coconut milk as the base. So there's plenty of natural plant fat in there, which takes the place of milk fat, which means you get that creamy, thick mouthfeel, just like real ice cream.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the ones you see in the stores right now that are oat milk based ice creams.
Right. It's a high fat content.
Both of those types of plant based milks provide that base. So it's just tremendous. I love that you can have a complete meal and it's not like when you're eating plant based at Trattoria Al Forno, and you don't feel like they're trying to search and cobble together something complete for you.
Right.
And it was just amazing. All of our servers there have been so attentive, so positive, and so just knowledgeable too.
And that's regardless of time of day. We've gone there for brunch and we've gone there for dinner. So we can speak with a little bit of authority there. Yeah. You are not going to go wrong at Trattoria Al Forno, plant-based or not.
Can't wait to get back there and do the not plant-based so we can enjoy that too, because I know it looks fabulous. I know it will taste fabulous too.
It will. So Trattoria Al Forno over on Disney's Boardwalk. Check it out. Let's talk drinking.
I mean, does it make you thirsty?
It does. And now that everybody is starting to finish those races over at the Springtime Surprise, we think it's time for you to go and indulge and celebrate.
Go back to your hotel, relax a little bit, shower off, change, and then head over to the Polynesian.
Drive over, take a boat, or hop on the monorail and check out a little piece of Disney history. That, of course, is one of their original resorts. And upstairs at the Tambu Lounge, they have some amazing tiki cocktails available.
You know how we feel about tiki cocktails. We love to go to Trader Vic's in Atlanta, home of the original Mai Tai, as legend would have it. And so why not go to the Polynesian, go to the Tambu Lounge, and have that and more?
Yeah, because you can always go from the Tambu Lounge over to the Kona Cafe for more food. You could go downstairs to Trader Sam's. You can go outside to the pineapple window.
Yes.
And pick up a Dole Whip.
Oh, and maybe you could get a little rum on there. In there.
Maybe.
You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. So we tried a couple of cocktails and we captured our reactions live.
Hey, Runcation Nation, we are coming to you live from the Tambu Lounge here at Disney's Polynesian Resort. And Amy is sampling some of the wares for us. Amy, tell us what you got, what we're doing.
Okay, I was sent here for one drink and I tried another.
So this is extra credit.
This is the first. So I decided to get the Polynesian Mai Tai.
Because that's a classic that we have had from the original, which is Trader Vic's.
In Atlanta. Every year when we go to the Jeff Galloway Half Marathon weekend.
Yes.
And
if you're going to do Polynesian drink, really, anybody working in a tiki bar, this is a staple. This is where the drink that started it all.
Dark rum, light rum, orange curacao, lime juice, orgeat, which is almond liqueur, and pure cane sugar.
Okay, and the classic presentation, they've got it garnished with a cherry and a orange wedge in a classic Mai Tai glass.
Yes.
What do you think? How did they do?
You can smell the almond before you even take a sip. The almond is present and delicious because I'm a big fan of that. The tropical juices are perfectly balanced. And The rum is not overpowering, so it's a great combination of the tropical juices, the orgeat, and the rum.
Now, would this sneak up on you? You're like, oh.
Yeah, you can't taste the rum in this. No. Let's just be real.
Okay.
Okay. So, Runcation Nation, if you're going to have this one, make sure you have a designated driver or you're in for the night at your hotel, which would be the Polynesian Resort here at Walt Disney World. But, yeah.
And this, at the Tambu Lounge, this is on the second floor. You can just walk up and grab a seat at the bar.
Right outside Ohana's.
And it looks like a tiki bar. I mean, it's got the thatched roof and the big bamboo beams supporting it. And what a great view looking out.
It's beautiful.
Over the resort itself.
It's a great view of the resort, yes.
As well as the lobby, depending on which way you're facing.
Oh, yeah. Like the big lights in the lobby and just the artistry here, the theming is, you're not in Florida anymore.
Right.
You're not in Florida anymore. And that's a great way to have a runcation. So I highly recommend the Mai Tai here.
Now, you've had this one at Trader Vic's. How does it compare to the original?
It's very similar. That one may be a little heavier on the almond.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine with me because I love that.
Sure.
But that's what I remember. Now, granted, we haven't had that one since December of 2019.
Yes.
So we may have to have it again in the coming months and compare. But this is quite delightful. It's very vacation-y as a beverage. So runcation-y, vacation-y, you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying. Runcation Nation, come have a Polynesian Mai Tai. It's yummy.
Amy is trying a beverage that was recommended to her.
I believe it was by the Dip Crew. The Dip Crew that recommended this. They also said go to Trader Sam's, but I don't know that Trader Sam's is open until after 3 today.
Oh, okay.
And right now it's 11, so. Good morning. I'm having an alcoholic beverage.
But it's vacation.
It's vacation.
Time doesn't matter when you're on vacation.
You are having delicious coffee.
I'm having coffee.
But you need to have this because, listen, the Lapu Lapu Plantation Original Dark Rum, tropical fruit juices, served traditionally in a fresh pineapple, topped with Gosling's 151 rum. Okay, very potent drink. But our bartender,
I think he gave you...
Benji gave me fantastic advice.
Yes.
And I think you were about to say that you
I was going to say, I think he gave you great advice.
Because he said it's served in a pineapple, but for $4 less, you can get it in a glass. And with the pineapple, it's hard to tell how much of the drink you get because of the way that they carve out the middle of the pineapple. You can never tell. Every pineapple's different. So
you can have some inconsistency in the total size of the drink.
Right.
If you get it in the pineapple.
So, yes, for presentation. It's like if presentation matters to you, get it in the pineapple. But if you're here to taste the beverage, get it without the pineapple.
And let's be honest, the presentation in a hurricane glass was quite pretty.
Anything with an umbrella.
Look at that artwork.
The umbrella, and it's like a sunset with that 151 on top.
Yeah.
Great. Delicious. I know you had coffee while we were there.
I did.
And I was the indulgent one.
That's okay.
But
we're going back soon, so I'm going to take advantage.
Just can't wait to go back there in the summer and have the entire menu, and well, maybe not the entire menu at one time, but sample the entire menu over the course of our stay, because that place is truly a place of relaxation, of celebration. And Benji, our bartender,
he was fantastic.
So, and I just think the whole experience is very vacation, runcation, celebration.
100%. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Giving us a rating and a review helps the Runcation Nation grow and helps us to make the show even better.
Thank you so much for listening, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in to this quick bite. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.